Hello everyone and welcome to a new video of making a boring engine into a tuner dream engine. I brought this up and I recorded this special video because first of all it's been a while since I made turning a boring engine into a tuner engine dream for that special series. You can watch the playlist right now. Just press here and you can find the whole playlist for the boring engines into a tuner dream engine. And of course, because in the previous video I've talked about the Toyota 22R-E engine, the engine that I've used in the pickup truck. Also, if you want to watch the video, you'll find it also here, which is really good. I did an LS swap on the same pickup, so if you want to see that crazy video, it's available and it's really fun. So it's been a while, and I'm happy to say it's back. I mean, I didn't cancel that series, the whole series, but I've been focusing on challenges for a very long time, and I thought myself I want to bring it back. So enough chit chat about that, and let's start talking about this engine. So what we have here is a 1997 Toyota 22R-E engine. The production year is 1997 because that was the latest and the last year of production for this engine by Toyota. This engine started in life all the way back in 1953. Of course, it was a carbureted engine. It was very low on power, and many versions came into lots of cars. For example, the Toyota Crown, the Toyota Hilux, and many other vehicles. But in this video, we'll be, of course, taking the liberty of tuning this not tiny, it's actually a not bad beast, so tuning this engine to make it a tuner dream. So the story is, it's 1997, the engine is brand new, everything is perfect, but let's say in 2018 someone actually bought it. So let's move the production year to 2018, but before we do that, let's talk about the horsepower and torque. So the engine stock horsepower and torque are 105 horsepower, 128 pound-feet of torque, which is not bad at all. Cast internals, 9.4 to 1 compression ratio, 29 on the cam profile, natural aspirated, EFI, single throttle body. I mean, it's just a very basic engine, nothing special at all. But this engine is extremely reliable. This engine, I've been reading some forums, this engine went over a million mile or maybe a million kilometers per hour on some vehicles, which is very astonishing. But let's try and see how much horsepower this engine can take or can make without, you know, making it like a racing engine, because I don't want to make it a racing engine. I want to tune it in a special way that maybe for example, if a 22R-E engine enthusiast bought this car or bought this engine just to tune it, you know, to make it sporty and good to drive on every day without making it a racing engine. So it's 1997. The engine was bought by a family or whatever. They, you know, the first customer or the first owner, they drove the vehicle decades and years after years, like 2005, 2007. It's been 10 years on this engine, and the vehicle that has bought this, and the vehicle that this engine is in is becoming extremely cheap. It's 10 years, so let's go even extra 10 years now. It's 20 years, 2017. So let's say after 20 years now, this Hilux or whatever car this Toyota came with, this engine is becoming really tired, needs restoration, and the engine needs let's say help. So let's say the owner who bought the new engine maybe rebuilt the engine, or maybe the engine has low mileage, which is very rare. But let's say the engine is still clean. Let's say the engine is extremely clean, low mileage, still perfectly shaped, stock. But as you can see, the horsepower and torque went up because I've increased the production year. So yeah, don't worry about that. So the engine is still pretty much stock. So as a tuner, and let's say as a regular person, because I don't want to tear this engine down, I'm just assuming this engine is absolutely clean, really clean, immaculate. That's why I'm assuming that. So I'm not gonna bother with changing the internals because it's on low mileage. So let's start with, for example, let's start by a simple ECU tune. Take it to the dyno and tune it. So of course the fuel in 1997 was bad. Now these days the fuel is much better, especially in the US. It has ethanol in it, which is really something unique. So you need to like change, I think, the fuel pump, the fuel injectors, and the fuel lines, so you can run ethanol. But let's say we don't have ethanol here, but of course the fuel is much better now, and the engine is much better because it's 2017, so we have lots of headroom. But forget about the FI. So let's say the person who made this, who bought this car, is using 95, and let's tune the ECU. So what we can do here is increase, of course, the ignition timing. Play with the ignition. That's very simple when it comes to tuning cars. So far 55, not bad. As you can see, more horsepower, and nope. Let's see how much we can push it. So yeah, using a 95 tune, a 95 special octane tune, for example, we can push. I want to push the horsepower all the way to the red line, like all the way to the max, like this, for example, 78. Yeah, but it's low. That's why I'm gonna just push it to 100% or 100. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. No, this is better. 90. This way it's 5,300 RPM and 116 horsepower. So remember, we started in live with 105, I think, horsepower, and now it's 117 horsepower. And we started with 128 pound-feet of torque. Now it's 145. Very good, significant, a very significant increase just by tuning the ECU, which is something really cheap and really simple to do to any like electronic fuel injected car. And of course, by increasing the ignition timing, you will get better mileage. So not only better horsepower and also better mileage. So it's a win-win if the tuner knows what he's doing. Perfect. So now let's say the owner started saving up some money and decided to tune the engine even more. So what can he? What is an easy thing to do? Of course, an exhaust system. Free the exhaust. You know, make the engine breathe much better. So the original engine came with short cast headers, which they work absolutely fine for a stock engine, better than the cast log, which these are absolutely rubbish. But cast log are very good. So let's say you went online and you bought an aftermarket kit, and actually I've searched online and there are tons of aftermarket exhaust headers and mufflers and whatever, a lot of kits. So let's say you bought these kits, which comes with tubular headers, high flow 3-way catalytic converter, and let's say you have changed the muffler from reverse flow to a straight through muffler. Not bad. And the exhaust will be like a 2-inch exhaust system, which is very common. So 50.8 millimeters or 2-inch exhaust diameter, 120 horsepower, 147 pound-feet of torque. Very good, and the engine should sound much better now. And of course, it will look much better. Look at these beautiful tubular headers. Absolutely magnificent. Look at it. I mean, it's really identical for like those kits that I've seen online, which is absolutely amazing. Alright then, let's move on. Let's say also the owner drove the engine, enjoyed that beautiful noise and that beautiful extra juice and horsepower, and let's say he decided to upgrade the intake. So he went online, or maybe he made a custom one, but usually they go online and they search for like an aftermarket intake manifold, and of course airbox, and a beautiful cool looking intake system. So let's switch to a performance intake system. So what's the difference between a standard and intake? As you can see, the difference is simple: a better intake manifold, longer runners, bigger throttle body, and of course a bigger airbox with, of course, a low restrictive air filter, which is really cool, better than the paper one they used from the factory. And of course, now the engine should sound much louder because it's a low restrictive intake system with bigger throttle body, and yeah, that should actually sound much better. But first, let's check the horsepower. 121 horsepower and 149 pound-feet of torque, like extra 1 horsepower and or maybe 2 horsepower and extra, let's say 2-3 pound-feet of torque. Not really significant, but look at the differences. Better fuel mileage and better noise. What else? The engine requires more cooling. So yeah, only better mileage and better noise. Yeah, so let's fire it up. Yep, much better. absolutely perfect right now. It sounds good, makes good horsepower, makes good torque. It's a good engine. It's a brand new engine compared to the stock one from 1997, which is very, very good. Now we have actually two separate ways to go with. Go naturally aspirated or go turbocharged. We have two type of tuners. People that likes to tune naturally aspirated engines, they upgrade the internals with high compression, better internals, and better everything. And we have the other side, which is putting a turbocharger and keep tuning the engine until the engine explodes, and then they will rebuild it with better internals. So I'm stuck here. I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna start with the naturally aspirated area and then go to the turbocharged. That will make the video longer, but it should be more fun. So all right. So the first thing they do, the naturally aspirated people, which is of course upgrade the internals, because yeah, it's low compression. It's normal compression ratio and normal camshaft. So let's start with an easy thing, which is camshafts. They are easy. You can buy them. Like for example, Cams and other companies, they make those camshafts specific for some engines. So let's say you have bought a better camshaft because this is a single camshaft, single overhead cam. So let's say you bought a normal quality one and let's say upgraded it to, let's go into the sports section. So instead of normal, let's say 50 for example. You know, a very, very mild sporty, kind of sporty, kind of normal cam profile, which should make the engine which should make more horsepower, allow more air in, and of course push the peak horsepower very, very high, which is very good. But if you want to get that horsepower, you need to increase the RPM. So you should actually you can increase the RPM limit by tuning your ECU again, but you need to be careful. As you can see, we know here how much RPM these internals can take. We know that, but in real life, I really don't know how they can figure it out. So let's say 6,500 RPM below than the limit, which is reliable, not bad. And now we have 153 horsepower and 160 pound-feet of torque. Much higher horsepower and much higher torque. Wow, it's like extra 50 horsepower and extra 40 something or maybe 30 something pound-feet of torque, which is really good. So let's fire it up. Yep, listen to that cam. Yep, better camshaft, better exhaust intake, so the engine is breathing very, very nicely. Absolutely amazing. Alright, so to be honest with you, my favorite path when you tune an engine, tune it naturally aspirated first and then move on to turbocharger. This way your engine will be ready to take on the turbo. Because putting a turbo on a stock engine, yes, you can make good amount of horsepower if the engine is or if the engine was designed with strong internals. But if you have a normal engine, the chances of succeeding with a reliable daily driving turbocharged engine is just it's really, really low, unless of course you are using a legendary strong engine. But these engines like this one, for example, yes, they are really reliable, but they are not really strong. I mean, the internals can only take like 273 pound-feet of torque, and then they will explode. So yeah, I mean, these are new internals, 273. Can you imagine with very, very high mileage engine? The limit will drop really hard. So yeah. Alright, so we have a camshaft in it, a mid one, which is not bad at all. Let's see what else. We can upgrade the ECU. We can upgrade for example, the headers to a long tubular one to allow more air in, and that should be good. We can put a bigger exhaust diameter, 2.2 inch, which is really good. This should make 161 horsepower, very, very good. I mean, these are just normal things. Better headers, bigger exhaust diameters. These are just normal things you can do. So you can say with long tubular and 2.2 inch, this is like a custom exhaust. I think you can't find find a kit with that, especially because long tubular headers, let me show you, these things are welded. So I'm assuming, look at the welds, I'm assuming these are custom headers. So yeah, of course every kit comes with welded headers, but this one, I mean, the welds are very shown, you can see them. So I think this is like a custom header, so custom exhaust system works very well. So let's fire it up. I mean, this engine is a 2.4 liter engine, 161 horsepower. It's not really impressive, to be honest. I mean, it's low on power compared to the capacity, and I really don't want to go with, because sometimes you see some engines like 4-cylinder engines that you can actually change the cylinder head from another from another engine. Like for example, this one is a 2 valves per cylinder single overhead camshaft. Some engines, not this one, some engines you can actually get a double overhead camshaft cylinder head from another engine, from for example another wrecked engine from the junkyard or something. Yeah, and it will bolt on. You can find a cam, what do they call it? A timing belt that can work. It will work fine. It will make more horsepower. It will be very good. But I really don't know if this engine is, if this engine can do this trick or not. So I'm not gonna go down that line. I'm gonna assume this engine will be always 2 valves per cylinder. Yeah. So the next step, which is of course, let's see, can we actually tune the ECU to make more horsepower? Yeah. Lower ignition. We can push more fuel in if we want to. Not bad at all. I mean, I can push it like 13.2. and this way we can use 91 if I want to, but it's too much fuel going in. That's not accurate. So let's upgrade the camshaft again. Let's see how much we can actually push it. So we are now in the sport area, which is very good. Look at this, we are starting to lose torque, which is something I don't want to. So let's stick to it. Let's stick to 68, which made 185 horsepower, 163 pound-feet of torque. And let's increase the RPM just by that. And yes, and that's the limit of the, as you can see, the more RPM, yeah, they will start to eat themselves. So 6,700 seems very good. Yes, upgrade the more ignition in. Perfect. So far the engine can run on 91. It's making 187 horsepower, which is much more significant difference. You can go with 2.5-inch exhaust diameter, 190 horsepower. This is all naturally aspirated, which is very good. Now you can go with a higher cam, but you can't get any extra horsepower because we have reached the RPM limit. We can't go any further until we upgrade the internals. So let's go back to here and let's upgrade the internals with forged package. We have a forged crankshaft, heavy duty forged connecting rods, or let's say lightweight forged. They will work perfectly, and lightweight forged pistons. This way we can rev the engine to the moon. Perfect. And now, since we have better internals, let's go with, for example, 10.0 to 1 compression ratio, which is really good. A really good compression ratio, very high, very nice. And now we have 193 horsepower. That is absolutely great. Very good. And let's go with 95 octane fuel. Perfect. Nearly 200 horsepower, nearly. Now since we have those beautiful new internals in it, we can actually rev the engine higher. So let's say 7,500 RPM. Very good. Yep, let's fire it up and see how it will actually look. So these are the beautiful new internals. Alright. Listen to the camshaft. Nice. Wow, this engine is a screamer now, which is really awesome. Now the next step, of course, we can actually upgrade the camshaft again, but not that much, because yes, it can make horsepower, but we are losing torque, which is something I really don't like. So yeah, we can actually lose torque. So let's say 8000 RPM. Yeah, we have lost 2 pound-feet of torque, but now we are making 206 horsepower, which is something awesome. So let's see, I don't want to lose the horsepower peak. So 7,000, come on, give me 600. Nope. So 7,500. Alright, not bad. Alright, so the next step is we have high compression ratio. No, not really high, no, above normal compression ratio. I really don't want to go any higher than this because we can't bolt on a turbo. The camshaft is just a racing camshaft, which is really aggressive, and it's not really fuel efficient anymore. So yeah, I think the next step, if you want to keep it naturally aspirated, go with a fully custom headers, which is racing tubular, and it should look like this. Very special. Yeah, excuse the noise from outside. So yeah, race tubular headers, you can go with, let's say, 2.8-inch exhaust diameter. Very good. You can go with like a high quality exhaust system. So yeah, this is the maximum you can get, like regular maximum, not racing maximum. I mean, if I want to push it even further, you can upgrade the internals with 11.0 to 1 compression ratio, but that's too high. Yeah, and I think too expensive too. So what I'm gonna say is, for a naturally aspirated engine, single overhead camshaft, 2 valves per cylinder, old school 1997, 20-year-old engine, yes, 2.4 liter, making 211 horsepower, that's good. Not bad at all. I'm impressed, really impressed with the amount of horsepower. Remember, we have started with only 105 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque. So the torque, no, we didn't get that much, but horsepower, RPM, noise, yes, we got the lot. And now, of course, everyone's favorite, go with the snail power. The snail power, which is, of course, the turbocharger. So you need to remove this beautiful racing custom tubular header, and of course get back to the stock cast log, not cast log, to the stock short cast headers. Yep, that's the one. You need to get back here. Let's say you went online, you bought a nicely like Garrett, or what do they call them, Garrett turbos, I think. Yeah, or whatever company these days. So yeah, you bought like a 40mm. Let's start with 40, maxed out air ratio. Yes, I know the engine is knocking, which is not really something good. 10 psi. Let's decrease the ignition timing, 50, and the results are 250 horsepower. Very good. I'm impressed. This is like out of the box tune. Drop the ignition, same FU ratio, 40mm compressor, not bad at all. And so yeah, if you can go with bigger intercooler if you want. Let's say the turbine. Now the turbine is good, but the compressor is not good. So let's push the compressor. Let's say 50mm. Oh no, less than 50. 49. Alright, not bad at all. 280 horsepower, that's very good. Let's say you upgraded your injectors with high quality fuel injectors, let's say +5 quality. This way it will allow better fuel orifices and better fuel delivery. Let's say push more fuel in. Ignition timing, yes, I think 5 extra horsepower. No, not good. So yes, let's drop it to 48. This way we can get better peak horsepower peak. And now better turbine and 50mm. Okay, that's good. And let's push more boost in, like, come on, I want 12 psi. So here we go. 12.9 is the air fuel ratio. 291 horsepower. That's really good. I'm impressed indeed. This is multi-point EFI, not a DFI. Absolutely amazing. Look at that baby over there. Wow. And of course, I think the exhaust is restricting. Yeah, restricting a lot, and the intake too. So yes, let's solve these two problems. So you have the turbo on, you have this custom beautiful turbo on for your engine. 50mm on the compressor, 33 on the turbine, maxed out air ratio, 12 psi of boost, custom large intercooler, custom ECU tune, and on the stock exhaust piping and muffler. Let's see how it will sound. That should be impressive. Very, very impressive. Nice noise, nice horsepower, nice everything. So the turbo is on. You are very happy. You are chewing all the way on all the time on the street. You are racing people with your Hilux or your Toyota Crown. It's flying, unless of course your gearbox has blown up and you have to rebuild it. So yeah, it's up to the circumstances over there. But no, so far I'm really happy with the result. Same engine, better internals, and better tuning. And then of course a turbocharger. So now let's upgrade the exhaust with a custom exhaust system. So 3-inch, 3.5-inch. I think 3.2 should do the trick, or 3.5. Okay, 3.5-inch or 88.9 millimeters. 304 horsepower. You have a 300 horsepower engine. This engine started with 105 horsepower, and now we are pushing 304 horsepower. That is absolutely amazing. So let's fire it up. Very good. I love this engine so far. Wow, 304 horsepower. Very good. I mean, of course, if you want to go crazy, you can of course upgrade your turbocharger with a much bigger one, but what's the point? I mean, the engine will start to be laggy. I mean, it's already lagging not bad. I mean, the turbo will kick in at 2903 RPM, which is high. It's not low at all, but compared to other turbocharged cars, this is very perfect. Yeah. So let's say you've been saving money and you've searched online and you found like a custom throttle per cylinder set up by someone, or maybe there is an aftermarket kit or something. So yeah, you went online and you bought a throttle per cylinder kit for your engine. So this kit of course will contain a different intake manifold and 4 individual throttles with their linkages, and of course this beautiful link here between the intake manifold and this custom piping. This piping should be custom, but this is like a kit, which should be impressive. Very good, and you can use the same air box from the performance one. Very good. And what we have here, yes, we have lost a little bit of horsepower, but the engine is knocking. So let's fix that by a little tiny bit of fuel, and you have 317 horsepower. Whoa, we have gained so far 200 and let's see, 207, no, 200 and what is it, 12 horsepower, 212 horsepower extra. That is absolutely good indeed. So anything else that we should do to this engine? We have a racing camshaft, we have let's see, a nicely tuned ECU, we have a nicely looking turbocharger on it. Like, you can go a bigger intercooler a little bit, you can go with a bigger custom turbine, not by much, because then you'll start to make a laggy engine, super laggy engine, which is not really good. But so far the turbo is kicking in at 3000 RPM. Yeah, with bigger turbine, more lag comes into the place. So 12 psi of boost, the engine is running absolutely amazing, no restrictions whatsoever. I mean, the exhaust restrict a little bit, but yeah, it's not really, you can't really fix that. So a turbocharger, let's say you went with a better, like, high quality turbocharger, that should push it like a little half a degree, which is good. Let's say you bought like a high quality aftermarket camshaft, better tune, 335 horsepower. I mean, yes, you can actually make good amount of horsepower. Let's say you bought like a fully on racing camshaft. Let's see, 38. Here we go. 395. Push the. Come on, give me 340. Here we go, 342 horsepower. Alright, that is absolutely immaculate. 240 pound-feet of torque, 341 horsepower. That is an absolute monster. Now, wow. Let's see everything. I want to see everything. So, turbocharger, headers, cylinder head, intake, very good. Absolutely amazing. Alright then, that was the Toyota 22R-E, which is the electronic fuel injection version, so it's not stock anymore. Let's delete this and write Turbo Monster. Very, very, very impressive. So I really hope that you enjoyed this engine. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the tune. Do you like it naturally aspirated? Do you like it turbocharged? What do you think about the horsepower, the torque? What do you think about it as a general idea of tuning this engine? Do you think that this engine is tunable in real life? Do you think this engine is not? I would love to know all this in the comment section. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and of course don't forget to hit that bell button, that ringing bell, so you can get notified when I release a new video. And of course, if you like my videos and if you want to support the channel, to support the next video, to support my work, I would be more than thankful. And of course you will get special exclusive contents like special cars, special wallpapers, special replicas, and behind the scenes. Of course, all this is in the description below. Press that Patreon link, check out my page, and you can download free cars from there and special exclusive cars from there. It's up to you, my friend. And if you can support the channel, you will get a special big thank you from me, because Christmas is coming and I will be making a special very special video for Christmas very soon. And thank you so much guys for watching. And of course all the other information is like Instagram, Snapchat, wherever, Discord, all is in the description if you want to chat with me or something. So thank you so much and goodbye for now, my friends.